Couples hang out to love one thing. How I meet in my love, where I meet in my love. When we meet ourselves, come and hear a story, child. Couples hang out to love one thing. How I see my darling, when we start our love, when we meet ourselves, come and hear a story of life. Couples hang out to love one thing. Marriage story, oh, marriage story, oh. Couples hang out to love one thing.
Hey, I've never seen this kind of girl before. Wonder. Oh my God, this God is so wonderful. He did do wonderful things. He did do marvelous things in our life, in my life, in my family life. In your life, where they watch me now, husband and wife, where they watch me now. God is wonderful to you. That is why you are able to watch me now. You close your eyes, you open your eyes, they see me. You carry your hand is carryable. You move your leg is movable. I am telling you, happy Sunday to all of you now. When they watch me now, the happy last Sunday. And I hope so that go thank God, because this God is wonderful. I am telling you, especially to us for the Apostolic Church, for Glorious Vision Television. My name is Franco Lugadejo, aka Omoyano, the evangelist of comedy, and not with Pamoye, MC comedy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And they always they talk is say no food for a lazy man. You know, cause I'm picking when mama get restaurant. I know be who first call police 9 day weekends. Couples hang out and every Sunday 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Now the show episode they bring husband and wife. Then they come they summon us their story. How they meet, where they meet, waiting they make them home. They go jolly. Even though we don't meet for inside studio, we they carry our microphone go meet the people for them house. And today this Sunday we dey Ojodu Bega. He beat your clothes. I dey go Ajayi street. Now we dey the street of our father pastor and deaconess Adebi. Oh, you know they see our baba. He dey interpret for convention, they interpret for program, they interpret, they speak Yoruba, they speak English anyhow. Today, you go see wife. I am telling you. So today is going to be special. Like I said, last week you know feel call, and this week again, you know go feel call. And ladies and gentlemen, this couples hangout is being sponsored especially by Travels at Phillips. Hey, this Ogbonge travel agent don't come again. No, I am telling you, Travels at Phillips. They say December they don't organize special tour to Israel. They won't carry people go Israel. Hey, and now shikini money, very cheap, very cheap. And they say they go carry you go Jesus tomb, they go carry you go Jerusalem, Bethlehem where they born Jesus, Mount of Transfiguration where Jesus is ascended to heaven. They say they go carry you the region, and all the places, all this holy site where we say we dey read for Bible. Where you reach there, you go pray to your God, and God will answer you. Oh. Travel at Philip. Oh my God, this will go get don't be smarty. You go hear from them. Let me just go for a short break now, and then leave you in the hands of Travel at Philip. We will come back. Travel at Philip is here again. Are you thinking of how to end year 2022 with a lifetime experience? Come join Travel at Philip as we journey and explore some remarkable and biblical locations in Israel. Travel at Philip December 2022 Israel tour is going to be an unforgettable experience with visit to Jerusalem, pleasant rides to Bethlehem, Jericho, Upper Room, Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus' tomb, Dead Sea, boat trip across the Sea of Galilee, River Jordan, and many more. You will have opportunity to pray at holy site, and you will be awarded with Jerusalem pilgrimage certificate. Registration fee for this tour is 10,000 naira, and the tour cost is just 1 million naira. Discover return ticket, insurance, hotel accommodation, meals, screening, and visa fees. Registration commences on the 25th of August over 10th of November 2022. Please, no registration or payment is allowed after 10th of November. For more information or inquiry, call, text via SMS or WhatsApp through 0803-331-6809. Travel at Philip, December 2022 Israel Tour. We have read about it. Let's go see it. Let's go see it. Welcome back, viewers at home. Na so it be from Travels at Philip. Na so it be. Okay, like I said before I go for that break, I said the person when I dey break today na big fish because e don tey wey be say we don dey use prayer and fasting. Say Baba, come now, please. He's one of the known learner interpreter. Very jovial, very lovely, energetic. And I love him so much. And he's here with a beautiful wife. Ladies and gentlemen, our couple for the week, Pastor, Doctor, and Dickness Olufemi and Oluwumi Adebi. You are welcome, sir. At last.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hey. Happy Sunday, sir.
The same thing.
How was the service, mommy?
You bless God.
I hope say you danced today very well.
Of course.
So daddy, we thank God say at last, because we don't disturb you since say come couples and out. All your members they don't text us, send message, say bring Pastor Debi. Now Pastor Debi your wife be this so. Some of you now Baba you they see always. This is Mama now, ladies and gentlemen. So mommy, I want to ask you now. How long have you been married now? Maybe we'll start from there. How long? How many years now? If we are to count 1, 2, 3.
22 years ago. 22 years.
22 years ago. 22 years and still counting. Okay, Daddy, please, where exactly are you from?
I'm from Igbajo in Osun State.
Osun State?
Yes.
Mommy, go.
From Gogo.
Gogo?
Yes.
And I'm saying, no far from each other.
Yes.
Trek gone.
In fact, because as the people like this, I saw the place there. I said, make I go there, make I pick them.
You are with comedian. Okay, mommy. Now let's start with your marriage. Marriage, the day, that wedding day. The wedding day, go. Wedding day. What happened that day when we say, oh God, you know go fit forget that your wedding day?
Well, nothing. It's nothing big now. Everything went well.
Okay.
There's no problem on that day.
On that day, Abi?
Yes.
The preparation, go.
Everything was okay. Yes.
Okay. Daddy. Yes. Your wedding day. What happened that day when we say? From the preparation to the wedding, what happened when we say, you know, if you forget?
We give God the glory. As we were preparing for the wedding, the devil was also preparing. And that was the time we were doing wedding on Saturday.
Okay.
And so the engagement was on a Friday.
Yes.
Friday over Saturday. And that was, I think that was, we were the last set that time that we do wedding on Saturday. Yes.
For Apostolic Church?
Yes. Our last born, that from my mother, we are two boys. The last born was a bit sick. And we were together at Bangande. And when we were celebrating, doing the engagement, he nearly passed on. But to God be the glory for our uncle, who is a medical doctor, that resuscitated him. As if that was not enough, people went with us. They followed us from our place of work, the church. And we had a place where it was a slopey on the main road. And we parked the car. And the car just moved without anybody touching it. And the thing entered inside the gutter. but the vehicle did not affect anybody. The vehicle did not injure anybody.
That's what you want use, so.
Yes, part of the vehicles we went with for the with the wedding. So it was parked on the main road, and we just discovered that the thing was moving without anybody. But to God be the glory for everything He has done perfectly well.
So that day, who dance pass? That was your wedding day. Because
I did.
Daddy don't know how to dance. So. He don't know how to dance.
Maybe we should show the video clip and see who dance pass.
so why did you say that you know Sabi dance?
You should know now. Have you ever seen him dancing like that?
No, he's always walking now. Yeah, he's always walking like.
He did not to dance.
Dancing competition between the two of us, you will know.
Okay, we don't get answer for that one. Papa say na him. Mommy say Papa no Sabi dance. Okay, mommy, let's go to first year in marriage. This year is always very difficult to so many people, so many couple. First year, some marriage say no dey last 3 hours or 3 months or your first year, mommy. Describe it. Wetin happen for that second year? Those difficulties wey we say you face.
To be honest, I thank God for all He has done. That first year, the only challenge I will say I have is distance.
Okay.
Because maybe 3 months after our wedding, that is when he joined the seminary at Ilorin. So that loneliness, because I'm so used to him, because, during courtship, there is no a day. He's a busy type that when he goes to work from one place to another, like 10 o'clock, 11, he must see me before he will go to his house. He can just knock and say, I just have to see you. He went back. So I'm used to that, all those things. So after marriage, 3 months after he went to school, so I have to be alone. But I know that, that time he used to call, I said every week he used to come from Ilorin to Oshogbo that time. So I usually at the front of the house waiting for him to come.
Yeah, every weekend, Abby?
Yes. So I don't care who look at me. When he comes like that, I'll jump on him. So there's no problem.
Wow.
That first year is very
joyful
joyful and enjoyable. It's just the distance and the loneliness.
Okay. All right, let's ask Daddy now. Daddy, your first year.
It was with a mixed reaction. Number one, as he said, we got married, I think, 13th of May, year 2000.
Okay.
And then I got to UMCATC. It's a theological seminary owned by Canadians. I got to that school I resumed to that school on the 28th of August, the same year. And so...
That was like 3 months after.
Yes. And we had some people that were with me, were living with us by that time. They were about, my younger ones were there, my friends were there. They were about 8 or 10. Okay. And so eventually they were going one after the other. Unfortunately, the house we were living then was the house we rented before we came out for the ministry. So we still maintained that house. And we had friends. My friend and the wife happens to be my secretary in the Iton Insurance Company when I was working. And my friend, we were living together. So when it was Friday, on Thursday, they will begin to make jest of my wife. And by Friday, my wife must be outside, waiting for me. So any Okada that passes like this, she'll be thinking maybe I was the one. But what I want to say is this. Despite the distance, where there is love, And that is why on several occasions we take certain decisions when we look at what our spouses have done for us. By that time, things were tight. And 2 days, she may not eat anything. And the people at home will be saying that, come and take this. Said no. Because by that time, we didn't have much with us. So we were just managing. But when I will be coming from Ilorin, maybe I will buy a loaf of bread, or some people can give her some things. And when she gets money from her place of work, she prepares some. So immediately I came like this, people will be making yes. Auntie is feeling okay now. Auntie is feeling fine now because the husband is around. And so I look forward to coming. Even any Friday we had lecture till 5, I would still make sure that I came to Osogbo that very time.
From Ilorin?
Yes, sir. Nigeria was good then. From Ilorin to Osogbo then was a 40 naira.
40 naira?
Yes, sir. 50 naira. Then 60 naira. So when I will be going back, I will enter this newspaper fender vehicle, this punch of a thing, or Vanguard. Okay. And from Osogbo to Ilorin, when I will be going, is 30 naira then. So coming every weekend was not a problem. But when the exam was closer, then I pleaded that so I would be able to read, say it was 2 weeks. But then we had somebody who had landline at the back of our house. So she quickly rushed there. And once it goes like that, in the admin there, they will say, they should go and call me that I had a call. And when I will get there, lo and behold, it was Sister Rose. Sister Rose.
Are you Rose? Mommy, you are also Rose, Abby. Is it Rose Flower? Roselyne?
Roselyne.
Wow. So, Daddy, that first year, you just the distance, Abby?
It's the distance and all the teething problems in marriage, you know.
Can we just briefly just discuss maybe one or two?
Okay. She was pregnant by that time. Okay. And the care the pregnant woman was supposed to have by that time, yeah. So instead of her to sit down, I will be running errand. She will be the one. I didn't say that. So she will be the one doing everything. Those were part of the challenges. But apart from those teaching challenges, we didn't have much problem.
Mommy, that pregnancy period where they are around, what they always come your mind?
Although I've prepared my mind, because before I married him, God has revealed to me the kind of person I'm going to marry. So I've prepared my mind. So I solely believe on God that even when He's there, sometimes when He came home and if you feel somehow that my dear, assuming I'm around, I should be able to help you with this or that. I said, don't worry, God is here with me. So let me just say that I give God the glory for the strength.
So that means your firstborn, Baba know they around.
Yes.
That's why it was a girl. Yes. I wasn't another, it was a girl.
I didn't mean you around now.
And I'm still going to tell you that.
Okay.
I didn't mean that I was around. No. Because the first born, I wasn't around. It was a baby girl.
Can you imagine?
The second one, I was not around. It was a baby girl. I said no. This third one, I must be around. And so I made sure that I was around, and I made sure it was a baby boy.
Can you imagine?
And the fourth one, when she was laboring, I said, no, let me enter the labor room. At a Redeemer church, at a Butemeta, I entered the labor room. I said, this one, no, it must be a boy. And it was a boy.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
So 2 boys, 2 girls.
Yes, now two. Nobody.
Hey, you see they around now, Abi?
No. The last one is Ebenezer.
Hey, Mommy, wow, that was interesting though. So that first year, nothing.
But that first year, even before I went to school, there were a lot of endurance and perseverance. Because certain things had been part of me before I got married. I still kept on doing them until we adjusted. And what was it? Immediately I was teaching before that time. So immediately I finished school by 2 o'clock. I would go to private lessons. I was teaching some children from the permanent secretary's director of finance. And so I would go from 2 o'clock, and the last place would be 10 o'clock that I would leave. So before I got home, it would be 11. Every day it would be 11, except Saturday when I go to choir practice, and Sunday. So and when we got married, I continued. To the extent that I had even forgotten that I got married. She prepared food. I was coming home. I met my friends on there. I said, we were coming home. So we just got home, we ate. I had forgotten that he has not eaten because he was waiting for me that we should eat together. So then she went to go and drink Gary. So later, I sat down. Are we going to do this? That this woman, we enjoyed the husband. And the wedding that is not up to 1 month or 2 months. So I started dropping those lessons. Then I started Mowan Walila go KKK. So like 7 o'clock. Oh no, I started from 9 o'clock.
From 11?
Yes. Then I returned to 9 o'clock. Then from 9 o'clock to 7. And that was where I stopped. I stopped at 7 o'clock before I stopped all those lessons and I went to school.
Wow. Okay. Now, mommy, the first place when you set your eyes on this man, first place, you never start to talk to each other. Where?
At Ilaorogun.
Ilaorogun?
Yeah.
What did they do that time?
That time, I went for basic studies.
Okay.
You know, that's when I first saw him.
Doing what did they do?
He too was doing the same thing.
Okay.
Want to rewrite WAHEC then. So we are in that basic studies was organized by Ilaorogun, College of Education lecturers.
Okay.
So that's where I saw him.
So why you set your eyes on him like this? Say, this kind of fine boy be the.
Not even. It's not. When I met him there, nothing happened until maybe 4 or 5 years later. When I saw him there, the next time I will now see him, I met him in the church because I was with my brother, and my brother then was going to CAC, but me as an apostolic member, I have to search for the apostolic church. So when I got to that assembly that day, I saw him there. So this brother, no. So this brother attend this assembly.
Okay. That was the second time you see him.
Yes. So then after we finished from that basic studies, we enter College of Education. So since then I've been seeing him then.
Okay.
That's how that is.
That's first meeting. Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Now the same story.
It's the same story, but it was just a scene by scene. When I saw her, I knew that I got to know that she's also a member of the Apostolic Church, and so we were in the basic study. She hardly had people that they were moving together because she feels shy somehow. But me, I had group. So, and I just knew that she was a member of the church. So,
I said that's why I don't like him that time. I'm a quiet person. I love going easily.
In a particular place from the beginning of the lecture to the end. But me,
surround him, joking, making jest. So that makes me to run away from.
I was a little lecturer there. Though I was a student, I was a little lecturer. Because people will move around me, I will be showing them 1 or 2 things. So, she will be looking at which kind of person is this? Me, I don't care.
Okay, at what point, sir? Now you develop feelings.
There was no point. I didn't develop anything. I did not develop anything, any interest. Because I knew I was tough. So, and for me to develop interest in somebody, it is difficult. It is difficult. Or let me say it was difficult. So, I didn't develop any interest. Our coming together was a command by God.
Wow.
Yes. So when you talk about interest, in fact, I will tell you something. Because he asked me a question by that time.
Okay.
Because we were not in a talking term. Even when we go to the fellowship. Sister, how are you? Sister, how are you? So there was no interest. That maybe I will look at somebody. Because by that time, I was even busier than now. I was extremely busy with fellowship work, with the church work, and with the school work. So I belong to different societies in the school. I belong to cultural group society, the dancing group society. I had a football team. I had a club I was playing for. So for a local government. So I had no time at all.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So what can bring you two together?
Like you have said, it's not, they say love at sight.
Foresight,
No, nothing like that. Me, myself, I don't even expect it. Yes, because it's all happened about 3 months to leave the school. After, I said we met at basic study at first. Yes. That's almost a year program. Then we enter school and we enter through prelim. Okay. So that means 4 good years. So 3 months to finish that 4 years in College of Education. That is when. And it's not that, when you have been nursing something in your mind or something you are expecting, that one is different. Yes. So it's I can say, very sudden. Unexpected. You don't expect it.
Okay, before we enter that one, did you plan to marry pastor?
As a child of God, when God is talking to you, at least, there was a time my close friend, that time I told her, when I went home after the holiday, I told her, that time she's about to marry, so I told her that if I'm not marrying a pastor, I'm going to marry somebody that is very great in life. She said, well, I said, this is what God has revealed to me. And that man he was telling you about, that time we call Deacon Wahab. There was a time I told him that this is what I saw. So he was laughing at me because I was in a dream that time. So I was given this handbell.
Somebody gave you the
Yes. Dream. So when I told that brother, as fellowship members now, so the man was laughing and said, hey, mommy, miss on all those things. That is. Since that time, I've been preparing my mind that, well, if it's pastor, all glory to God. But I know that between pastor and a great man.
And he's a pastor and he's a great man.
Yes.
You can't combine the two together now. Oh, wow, viewers at home. I know that you've been enjoying the story of our father and mother, Pastor and there's Adebiyi. Okay, I'm so sorry because today again you'll not be able to come because a lot of Baba's fan now, a lot of Baba's members, they are saying that, okay, at last someone don't bring Baba. So please, you will not be able to phone, to call in right now. Maybe any comment that you have or any question, just send it as a text to the number you are seeing on your screen now. We are going to forward everything to Baba. Baba will answer you. And the next episode, we are going to read Baba's answer to you. All right, now we are going to go for another short break. When we come back, we will enter how Baba asks Mama out. Oh, that one goes sweet. How they come back.
Travel at Philip is here again. Are you thinking of how to end year 2022 with a lifetime experience? Come, join Travel at Philip as we journey and explore some remarkable and biblical locations in Israel. Travel at Philip December 2022 Israel Tour is going to be an unforgettable experience with visit to Jerusalem, pleasant rides to Bethlehem, Jericho, Upper Room, Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus' Tomb, Dead Sea, boat trip across the Sea of Galilee, River Jordan, and many more. You will have opportunity to pray at holy site and you will be awarded with Jerusalem Pilgrimage Certificate. Registration fee for this tour is 10,000 naira and the tour cost is just 1 million naira. Discover return ticket, insurance, hotel accommodation, meal, screening, and visa fees. Registration commences on the 25th of August over 10th of November 2022. Please, no registration or payment is allowed after 10th of November. For more information or inquiry, call, text via SMS or WhatsApp through 0803 331 6809. Travel at Philip December 2022 Israel Tour. We have read about it. Let's go see it. Let's go see it.
Welcome back, viewers at home. In case you are just joining us, you don't miss so. I am telling you. But the great opportunity where you get be say on Thursday by 12 noon, you have opportunity to watch the repeat broadcast of this particular episode on Thursday, 12 noon. And we'll be hanging out with Baba and Mama Adebi, and it's been interesting with them. In case you want to be part of this show, you want to share your own marriage story with us, you don't hesitate to call our number, or you want to sponsor this show, you want this show to go on, you don't want this show to go down, kindly give us a call with the number you are seeing on the screen. And don't forget, I believe you don't hear from travel at Phillips. Jerusalem is going to be sweet to December. Oh, no be smarty. All right, so welcome back, Daddy and Mommy. Yeah, welcome back, ma.
Thank you, sir.
No be smarty. Oh. So, Daddy now, Mommy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, before I ask you how Baba ask you out, wetin give you conviction? Say, this man na your husband. A lot of people say, when I dey dream, when I dey dream, I dey draw water from well. Somebody just come help me. I wake up, So, wetin give you conviction? Say, Baba Adebi na your husband.
Like I said before, that I had a dream, even before anything.
Now him you see for that dream?
No, I didn't see anybody. I told you that. Yes. So, and looking at his lifestyle, the dedication, because even since then, you will know that this one is a man of God. Because he's somebody that was very committed to the things of God. So, when he came, that is why I cannot doubt God, because he has talked to me before he came. So I cannot doubt God, because he's a child of God and is very dedicated to the things of God. And so, that's why I didn't doubt.
Yes. Daddy, yes, did you go to mountain? Abi you pray 70 days? Abi before you know, say, what give you conviction?
It was God himself. Because by that time, I was extremely busy, as I've said earlier. And there was a young lady that I wanted to marry in the church by that time. God helping us to keep all the rules and regulations of the church as given to us by the fathers. But all of a sudden, she misbehaved. And so, and by that time, I now decided that I don't even have time for all this kind of nonsense again. But when it was about 3 months for us to finish, that was 1998, the Lord, unfortunately, we were in the same fellowship. And God now told me that this is the person I was going to marry.
Is it in the dream? Or?
Yes, I had an issue, a problem, and I was helpless. Then 3 people were coming. She was one of them.
In the dream?
Yes. And so she now saw me and said, look at this. So she now moved closer to me. other people left, she was the only person praying for me until I regained strength. And so I didn't count it to be anything when I woke up.
You don't meet her before that dream, have you?
No, we were together in the fellowship.
Okay.
But I have never said anything to her.
Yeah, okay.
And so I was living my normal life. We were in the fellowship and this and this. So, but the third day, God repeated the same message, but different forms. And I said no. And God now told me that I will ask for my life and future partner. From him, he will not answer again. Okay. And I went to go and meet our father, the district apostle then. Then he now advised me. But by that time, number one, I was busy. Number two, I didn't have such in mind. But when God said, I will pray about it, he will not answer again, I called her. I said, sister, how are you? Then he said, because I was the task force president by that time. Okay. She was also a member of the ESCO. So I said, sister, yes. I said, sister, how are you? She said, fine. I said, well, go and pray. We may have something to together in common in future.
Just like that.
And she's sitting down. She just turned back. And throughout that day, she didn't come out of her room. She was weeping. And so, when God told me that if I will ask for marital partner, he will give me again. If I don't take a step now, I now ask God, why is it that I must marry this woman? The Lord told me 5 reasons. But I told her 4. I kept the 51.
Up to now.
No, since so part of the reasons God told us, when she now went home and the pastor prayed, exact reasons for we marrying. Then when she now came, this Deacon Wahab is now an elder. Okay. We told him, what the Lord told me, I wrote it, I gave it to him. And when she came, she also, because by that time we can't do anything of our own, there must be somebody as an intermediary between us. So the man was an intermediary. So then the man was happy, he was praying for us. And that was how we started the courtship. Wow. So the issue of somebody kneel down and is taking ring. No, I just told her, I said, sister, we may have something to do in common. Go and pray. And she left. But the other thing is this. Since that time, she was so shy that if we were to meet in the fellowship, if it is only 2 of us that were in the fellowship, we go out. If I was coming this way, she will turn and take the other way. And so I was not there. And so she now went home. She went home, she told the parents, especially and the father, though the father was late, was like a prophet, because the father insisted that the person he was going to marry was going to be a man of God. And so when she told the father that the father said, yes, that is the true person God wanted you to marry. And she now told the mother that, hey, this person is a child of God, but he's tough. I don't know anything. Even I was just doing my own thing. But even before that time, I went to Western Zona meeting of a tax fund at Ibadan. And so it was late, and I knew that the family members were at Ibadan, so I slept in their house. So, yes, without even knowing anything, and they took good care of me. That I was a deacon then, a member of the Apostle Church, and so. And they don't even know. So. So that was just it, and it was so wonderful.
Mommy, why did they run for Baba now that time? When he tell you that thing?
Yeah, and the way he came, as he has been like this for that is him. You don't even. He's the kind of person that when he talks, he'll be, go straight. He would like to hear from you, Being the president, he was asking, Pelema, I said everything. Do you have anybody, any brother in your life? I said, I told him that, yes, there was this man then, that came to me, though my family opposed it. Even before he came to me, that man, when he came to school to check on me, we live in a secretariat, we member of the Apostolic Church that occupy that building. Okay. I have my own room there then, him and some other members of the church. So when that man came, and it's our rules in the fellowship, because we have grown up amongst us, even that are due for marriage, but because they want to come to school, so the rule is that if your fiancé come, if the lady comes, he has to stay with sisters, and if a man come, they have to stay with brothers. So when this man came, when I told him that you are not sleeping in my room, you are sleeping with brother. So he was furious and he was angry. Though he was a member. He's a member, but a little bit older than I do. So he was angry. With anger, he slept in that room that night. Very early in the morning, he left. When God is, I know that maybe God has prepared him. That's why that happened. So after he left, that time is, there was no phone like today. Okay, yes. So he went like that, no means of communication, and he now made mistake by going to my family and tell them that, when I left home that time, before I came to school, there was a misunderstanding. So he now went home to say that, so person said, she will never come home again, all those things. And so my father was worried, my mom was worried, no phone to call me. So they have to send one of my brother to come and check on me. So when he came, I said, who sent him all those things? So that is when I saw him last. Wow. That time he came. Till I got married and gave birth to my first daughter. So I didn't see. He did not know that. But after, when he now invited me that day to his room to ask him certain questions, and I explained to him that brother that came the other time, that was the man that my father opposed it, that even if he dies and the man came to his burial, that is going to wake up, that I will not marry that man. So that was, so when I left that day, so he now called me second time. That is when he told me that Lord, pray. He was saying that God, so that I told him something. I said, so. He said everything. I said, yes, I've heard you. He said, what did I have to say? I said, I don't have anything. He said, but God told you. So let me to go and ask God. Anything he tells me, I will come and tell you.
But why you can't do wrong when if Baba enter like this, you move like this?
See, like I've said, I love my, that quietness, if not ministry. And people really helped me a lot in the ministry. Because I'm the type of person, if you are greeting me, you are disturbing me. Child. So I love to keep quiet. So that, his own lifestyle, we crack jokes, play with people. I don't really like it. So when he now came to me, I was this man. And you hear Emmanuel, bro Emmanuel, in the fellowship that time. You have to run, because you have questions to answer. If there's no questions to answer, he has one thing or the other to give you to go and do. So you have to dodge him sometimes. That is.
Okay, Daddy, you said you wanted to say something about
yes, the man she was talking about, when the man came, it was a standing rule. And she came to me that she had a visitor from home. And we were two in my room as the president. Okay. That we were sleeping. Though brothers can come at any time. So I said, okay, let him sleep with us. And he just woke up as early as 5 o'clock, took his bath, and just left like that. Then I was even thinking they were fighting. So I was not bothered since he said from home. And that was, but then there is something that is so important that I want our viewers to learn from. She asked me a question because it's somebody who was a pet in the hand of her father. The father wouldn't want anything to happen to her.
You be last born?
No.
Okay.
But because I think because she was a disciplined child, and they believed by that time, and she knew what she was doing. And so when it is clear that we were going to marry, she asked the question. He said, "Did I love her?" I said, "I didn't hate anybody, and I didn't have any special interest." I said, even if I did not love her before, but because God said we are going to marry, I said the love is not the one that originates from my heart now, but the one that God has put in my mind to showcase. And so that was all. And as Riley said, the father said, if that brother were to come to, well, if Baba said if he died, and the brother were to come to our burial ground, and to his burial ground, that he will wake up. He will wake up.
So no go area.
But when I was introduced to the father was happy. And when we wanted to do marriage, the father didn't want us to do it at that time. Because that was me. The Baba said he did not have much money by that time. That I think maybe he said he would not be able to kill more than 3 cows. I think.
And you not get money?
We now said, yes, we were going to do it. We said we were going to do it. I said, okay, if we can bear with it, because the father was rich. And he was a man of many people. So many people came, and that was how.
Wow. All right. Now, mommy, because of our time is going gradually. Now, let's quickly talk about challenges in marriage. Those challenges that you face in marriage and you were able to overcome. This is about 22 years now.
Yes.
I give all the glory to God. It's not, there is no marriage without challenges. Yes. The challenges, started even that 3 months before he went back to school. After our wedding, he was sick. Very terrible. I was so afraid that, God, this is not what you promised me. But we thank God that we overcame. Then another challenge is, that only obìnrin tàbí nídìílé ọ̀tá tọkùnrin, we have our own way of life, the way we do things, I was the type that like my digon. I so much like it.
You dress well.
Yeah. Aside that, I love my privacy and all those things. I don't like sleeping and touching somebody touching me on the. So those things, it's a really tough.
You can't sleep on the same bed.
I will sleep with my bra, with my pants. Those things I will sleep with them. My dad will say, this woman, you don't know you are married. All these things you are doing. I said, but I'm used to it. That you cannot believe that even till now, I laughed. Daddy, we have.
That means if you bath now, you won't change. You go cover yourself with where your husband.
No, only that one. I don't. Now I don't do that one. That one was before. So he said, "What are you hiding?" That one. It took a lot of time before I overcame that one. You know, some people, when you look at him, one thing I know that when God have hands in something and you are able to obey God, you cannot regret it. One thing I know that is very strong between us, you know, the moment I said yes and we continue our courtship, I don't know where that love came from. And one thing we did was that we sat down, the two of us, ask one another, what is it that you don't like? So we listed those things. And then after all those things, we now have a day of prayer, even before we got married. So we pray that God will give us the grace to all these things, to observe them. And there is a point of prayer which I know that God used very well for us. And as in that prayer point was that God should give us the grace not to see the mistakes of one another. That one really helped, you know.
Wow.
We have there's no way you know have challenges. You know, Daddy is the type that is choosing when it comes to food. That one really, in fact, drained me a lot. We cook this, you don't know how to eat it. That one, you don't know how to eat it. So sometimes I do have 2 pots of soup. You know, even when I want to make a swallow, his own will be different from the one I will eat. You know, all those things. You know, but above all, during all those, you know, those things we think they are challenges.
Yes, he's 22 years now.
I will never tell anybody. Till tomorrow, I never tell my mom that, see what my husband did. No. The only time, you know, because you say we have to be raw for others to learn.
Yeah, of course.
The only time I reported him to his boss, our apostle then, he loved fried meat then. Okay. So I now cooked. I said, they said this thing is not good for roast like that too much. So I now fried that. I didn't fry it. I cook it like that. Okay. So he didn't like it. He was angry. I begged him, you know. The only way I beg my husband, no matter what happened, is on our bed. No matter what. And that is where it ends. So, see, this one, I begged him. I do this, I do that. Yet, he still angry. I said, God, you see more than this, you know. And me, I don't have that mind like that. Everything, like, when things start to sue me, I'll begin to cry. I cried, he didn't look at me. I said, so I went to that, our Baba, Pastor Akitola, now at that Kogi side. So I told Baba, I said, I don't know what is wrong with your son, oh, that this is what happened. Baba now called him and said, Ayoti for here. You know, Baba now talk, and that, you know what, that day, it pained him. He cried. He said, my dear, you reported me today. In fact,
for the first time.
Yes, I hate myself. And I promised myself that would be the last thing I will ever do to him. Since then, there's nothing. I've never reported.
That the first time you go see your husband, will you cry?
Yes, so. Except when he lost his father.
Yeah,
Yes.
Daddy.
Yes, sir.
You don't hear your wife? Oh?
I hear.
Your own challenge quickly.
Well, there are many,
Okay.
but we just thank God because with God all things are possible. Even when we were when I was in school, a lot of challenges at home, and but there's something I just want to say that people can learn from. That when God has said this is your own, see her as part of you. I made a promise one day, and about a week ago, I still told somebody that I promised my wife something and I have not fulfilled it. And that was 2003. What happened? We were transferred to one village. And in that village is typical bush. And so the elder said we will not be able to sleep in that place. They now rented another an apartment in another village, like 10 kilometers. So I used to. So I was coming that time. She was working as a teacher. So she put our firstborn at the back and our secondborn at the back. The firstborn was like this. She was holding on to the firstborn. She put her bag up. Then this water leaf, bure, she put it in another. So when she was coming, and I was also coming from that village, then when I saw her, I wept inside of me. That's so if a woman can do something like this for me without complaining, then I had to enter into covenant with God. That God giving us long life, I will make sure that I take care of this woman. And I told somebody, I said, I've not got money, but I know that God will give me money to take care of. So it has been a lot of challenges, but when you have challenges and you have the woman God has given to you to marry, the problem will be solved. And let me quickly say this. There was a young lady. She's dead now. The lady we were in the church together, she did not know that we were courting. Because then, even we were working in the same school. Previous 1998 or so, they did not know that we were courting. So the lady was very close to me, but she was not doing well. And I introduced this lady to my wife that let them be praying together and this and this. So, but the day she got to know that we were going to get married, she was furious because she had the mind that I was going to marry her. So after our marriage, I went to school. She now went to my wife. I said, Mommy, in December 2000, what of your December clothes? Mommy, my wife told her that it's at Ilorin. He said, hey, tell them to bring it now. So my wife was referring to me as our December clothes because I was at Ilorin, no money, nothing. Even at times where she was working then, she would collect a 3 months salary ahead of the time. And, yes. And so at the end of the month, she would just come home without getting anything. So, and the woman said, the young lady said, God saved this man that he did not marry me. I would have showed her pepper. And my wife said, thank God he did not marry you. So, a lot of challenges, but we thank God because hitherto the Lord has helped us. Somebody lived with us. It's like a niece to my wife. And when we asked her to go, after she finished her tailoring this thing, she said no, she was not ready to go until we pray for her. I said, which kind of prayer? She said, the sisters will pray for her that she wanted a husband like daddy. I said, what happened? He said, he has never seen daddy and mommy in anywhere they were fighting. I said, it's a lie. I said, we fought yesterday. He said, it's a lie. I said, but our fight, we will start in our room. And it will end there. Even if our fight starts from outside, we will drag ourselves inside the room. And the fight will finish in that room. Then so we now prayed for her. The sister counseled her. And thank God she's also married, having children now.
It must be a powerful room. Okay, let's round up this with Mommy. If your husband is angry, how do you know?
You know, he's not the type of person that can keep. He didn't have her to. Okay. Although I don't like saying it on here. I don't want people to know my husband. Okay. They may see him as tough person. You know, somebody has comforted me before. I say, how do you cope with this man? I laughed. You know, I enjoyed him even more when he's angry.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Hey, why you do?
Because there is nothing you want at that moment that my husband will not provide. Yes.
In that anger.
Yes. If that time, he wouldn't want you to feel that, okay, because he's hungry, and what he needed to do, he's not doing. No, it's that time that we make sure that he do everything you need for you. You know, when he's angry, you will read it through his eyes. And, you know, when I see him like that, it doesn't take me anything. You know, I used to tell people, you kneel down, you did this. It doesn't reduce you. It doesn't take me anything to kneel down and beg him. Wow. That one,
That's what you do to bring him down.
Anytime I know that he's hungry like that, I will kneel down, beg him if I'm at fault. I will beg him. And
If you are not at fault, uncle.
we are always at fault. Even when men is at fault, they don't want to believe that they are at fault. So we beg him, and that will be all.
Mom, daddy, if your wife is angry, she's so gentle. If she's angry, how do you know quickly?
I know. Immediately she's angry or something is wrong. My wife will be singing seriously, but Christian songs. She will be singing Christian songs. Though she normally sing at home, but during that time, the singing will be more. I say, something is wrong. Something is wrong. And then we will now be looking at, then I will be looking at the way to talk to her. So I can feel the anger in the response, because I know ordinarily when I talk the way she will respond. And when she's angry and you are talking to her, you will see another nature. The total commitment to what you are discussing will not be there. You will now know that something is wrong.
So how do you now bring her down?
I will ask her.
Okay.
It will be, I say, is it because of this? What is the issue? At times he will say nothing. But the issue is this. She will need to say something, because if there is a misunderstanding, none of us will be able to sleep. We will not be able to sleep. And so when I wake up the second day, I say I couldn't sleep. She too said she couldn't sleep. So it is better if we want to sleep. Let us settle. And we will settle.
For both of that, God has been giving us. Anytime there's misunderstanding, I will fail to resolve it that day.
No sleep.
And one thing I so much love about him is that the moment if he knew that you are not the same person he knew, he will make sure he find out what is really wrong with you, even when it's not the cause of it. He my dear, kí ló ń ṣe yín? If I say, a tún lọ o, tó máa padà wá. What is it?
That is why you ask her. That is why anytime I want to travel, if it's 3 days, she will not be able to sleep alone. So if I want to travel next week, now I will have started telling her since last week. I'm going to travel. Then, and do you know the annoying part of it is this? When you are preparing maybe a day to that time, he will say, where are you going? I say, but I told you that. So he now say, he will now do like this. He will now be looking at me. He will say, okay, God will go with you. And by that time, I didn't give her face. So I would just get down, I'm going. So it was before I would get to where I was going, she can call for up to 5 times. But at times I would say, you are disturbing. I am driving. He would say, sorry.
Oh my God! I think we should not end this thing, and our time is fast spent. I will, mommy. Lastly, now, Baba is a pastor. He's an apostle. Is he romantic? Say the truth, though. Say the truth, though.
That's a big question, and I will say it. That's a big challenge I have with him.
Say it now. Say it.
My husband is, when it comes to caring, you need something at home. My husband don't know how to say, sorry, all those things we see on film, in the television. Yes, that you see husband. Even sometimes I will say, Daddy, for once, just even take us out. My husband, what he will do? Call somebody, call pastor. Pastor, come. Go to Food Sensation, go to Kenika, go and buy something for me. Before you know it, they will bring all those things to the house. But him taking us there, he don't. So we are.
They carry you go convention.
Yes, that one. That one is not. That one is normal thing now. So that is We are used to it now. I'm used to it, sha. So that is just it.
Wow.
So
We just want to thank you, Mommy. Because our time is fast spent. Thank you so much that you have learnt a lot. And I believe our viewers also have learnt a lot. And I believe you are so happy, to hear their marriage story. And you have picked one or two things from what Mommy and Daddy have said today. All right. Thank you very much. Next Sunday is another Sunday for a new episode. I still remain Franco Luca Odejon, aka Omoyeno, the evangelist of comedy, anointed with Pamoye, MC, commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our father, Pastor Yes Awojide, thank you for your support on this show, and our Oga Patapata GVTV, Edalai Ademokoya. My crew, me and AY, now we come here. We come with Jodubaga, come meet Baba. So thank you very much. Till Sunday, we shall see so. Bye-bye.
Na for marriage tori o. 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 Couples hang out. Na for marriage tori o. Couples hang out. Na for marriage tori o. Na for marriage tori o. Na for marriage tori o. Na for marriage tori. Na for marriage tori o.